Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa and this is Creativity and Inspiration. If you're new, welcome. We are so happy you found us. And if you keep coming back video after video, we love you. First of all, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. There's so many people that watch that haven't subscribed. I truly appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And it would push us over 1,000. I see the statistics. I see the numbers. So please, if you're watching and you keep watching and you just haven't hit that subscribe button with that little bell, do it now. I promise you we have a lot of great videos coming and you won't be disappointed. Today is a good one. It's like one of my favorite I've done in a long time. We're talking about new, not seen before ideas to age paper. We're talking old tape. And we're talking custom transfers. So let's just get into this video and get started. I have a lot on my desk, but there's something for each of those things I just mentioned. I'm going to save the transfers for last because that is the most in-depth. And I am also going to show you some things on the computer to go with that. Okay guys, let's start with 2 new ways to dye or age paper. I know a lot of people don't like food ways, but this one is still food related. It is not coffee, tea, vegetables, or fruits, any of that. But I got this amazing dark color, and you could adjust this. It doesn't have to be this dark, but look at that color. It is absolutely gorgeous. It has texture, it has movement. You have different spots that are colored differently. They're both, just beautiful. I did small ones because I'm going to make tags or use this as background. And what I used on these was balsamic vinegar. I looked in my pantry the other day and I had 3 bottles of balsamic vinegar. 3. I never cook. I mean, I might have had one recipe that called for it. So I decided to go on a mission and use them up. What better way than to dye paper? And I will tell you, I am very sensitive to the coffee smell. And these smell, but it's not strong like coffee. It's not as offensive to me. Now to you, balsamic vinegar may be offensive. But just try it if you haven't. They really came out beautifully. And I'm going to tell you what I did to get this beautiful color. Okay, so this was one of the bottles of balsamic vinegar I had. I used this plastic pan, whatever you call these, bowl. And this bowl is the perfect size for what I did. And it's about 8.5 by probably 8.5. Yeah, 8.5. So it's 8.5 by 8.5. I knew I was doing small pieces of paper, so this worked really well. What I did was I poured in the balsamic till it was totally covering the bottom surface here. And then I added water probably up to, I don't know if you can tell, there's like this line right here. I didn't add a lot. I knew I was just doing some squares of paper. And then what I did was I put these in. I turned them over 3 or 4 times, let them sit in there for a little bit, and then I put them on parchment and baked them in the oven, and that was it. And it didn't take a lot of it, but it used up some. And if I keep doing this, then I will get rid of a lot of this balsamic vinegar. I just love the dark color on this. It's grungy without being grungy. I don't know if you've it doesn't have any coffee grounds on it or anything, but look at the striations in it. It's just really a beautiful dyed paper. So this is one new way of dyeing paper. I love it. It has a lot of interest, a lot of movement. Now the second way I used was I mixed some burnt umber acrylic paint, some burnt sienna acrylic paint, a little bit of yellow, and water. And that's right, because you can paint with water and acrylic paint just like you do watercolors. acrylic paint is a water paint. So I did all of that and I got this. Now I love this color too. Again, if you look, it's got the striations, or the different, the different colors, the different weights of color in it, just like my balsamic vinegar did. And again, I love this. Now this one's a little redder, yellower, and if I wanted it to make it darker like the balsamic, I could always add more of my burnt umber. It's just you can make different colors, and it doesn't take any time. The only thing is you do have to do both sides if you use paint. But still, I like this way too. It's easy. I'd put the main color on each end, a little blob of the main paints mixed together with water here, here, and here. And then I just used water and got the rest of this. And it's that easy. If you'd like to see a demonstration of that, comment down below paint dyeing demonstration or paint dyeing, and I will definitely do a video for you. It'll probably be a short, honestly. And then this just dried, sitting around like normal paint stuff dries. Okay, so those are the two new ways to dye paper, and I am just blown away by the colors that I got out of the balsamic vinegar. So I'm super excited. What made me think of old tape was after I dyed the balsamic papers, my parchment paper, I don't know if you can see it, has this light yellow color where they were sitting on the pan to dry. Maybe you can see that one a little better. And that made me think of yellowing old tape. So I decided, yep, we're going to make some double-sided old vintage tape. And I'm going to use this that was left over from dyeing my balsamic vinegar papers. And all you do is, I love this double-sided tape. I'm always linking it below. If you're on the fence, it's not that expensive. Look at all the different sizes you get. Okay? Try it out. I think you will really, really be surprised. Especially if you're going to be making your own tape, whether it's age tape or fabric tape or whatever. Because, you're making basically customized, one-of-a-kind tape. So I'm going to use this big one so you can see how this is going to turn out. And I'm going to put it down over where it baked. Now, one thing, parchment paper is waxy, but I'm putting it down where the balsamic paper was. So it's going to be broken down and have less wax on it than, say, a part up here. So my tape should do fine. Once you stick your double-sided tape down on your, what you're trying to capture, the aged part, then I'm going to come over here and get my scissors. And I'm going to just cut those out real quick. And I'm just cutting right up to the edge of the tape. And then there is my aged tape on the other side. Very cool, right? Now I can use this in planners, journals, paper crafts, wherever I want to. Another way to make your own aged tape is to use packing paper or these little wax craft bags, craft paper. This is more even though, and you can tell the aging process on paper tape, whatever, is very uneven. So these are even, so you get a more artificial look to it, whereas using the parchment from under the balsamic papers that dried, you have different levels of color, so it looks more natural. But either way's great. I like either way. Here's a piece of the packing paper. I've already put my large tape down. I'm just going to finish cutting it out. And this tape, too, makes it very easy to create your own personalized tape, whether it's age tape or fabric or, you know, whatever. But then there's your tape. It's got a wrinkle in it. You could cut that off. I don't mind wrinkles. I think that kind of gives stuff interest and movement. Up to you. But anyway, so those are some ways to create age tape. You could also use our watercolored and our balsamic pages, or our painted age paper to make your own tape as well, and it would look amazing. I don't like using alcohol inks because they're just messy. I get them everywhere, but of course that's always a way to do it as well. Okay, I am going to clean off this area real quick, and next we're going to talk about creating your own personalized transfers. Okay guys, we're back, and now we're going to talk about how to create your own personalized transfers. And this is a great way. I love this. It's super simple, using probably things you already have, and if you don't have them, they're not that expensive. So I'm going to show you kind of what I've done. So this is a personalized transfer. I did the image and the words. It looks really cool. I could cut this out, use this for a tag, or you could use this on a journal cover. If I decorated this whole thing, it would have been journal cover, but I wanted you to see this. So I just left this plain. But these can be journal covers, they can be pages, they can be tags, journal cards. You could do anything that your mind thinks of, you can do with this, and especially with like Mother's Day and Father's Day coming up, grandparents, you know, you can create really special gifts by doing this very simple, personalized, custom transfer. And let me show you this is a way. It says gone fishing. It's a little disproportioned, but you'll get the idea. It's made to look old. If it'd been bigger, it would have been better. But anyway, I was in a hurry. I just wanted to give you an idea of what it would look like. I'm actually going to flip it over and do it again on this side. But you can do it on wood. This is thick, so it'll stand up like that on my desk. You could do thinner ones, poke holes, and do like hanging signs. You could get that from Dollar Tree if you wanted. This was actually a 2x4 scrap piece of wood. But anyway, it's easy to do, and it transfers to any surface that you can think of. You only need 4 things to do this. That's it. The first thing you're going to need is some chalk paint. And it can be any color of chalk paint you want, but you're going to need chalk paint, and it only works with chalk paint. It doesn't work with acrylic or anything else. Next, you'll need some Mod Podge. It's better if you have matte Mod Podge, but if you have gloss and that's all you have, that's fine. That's what I have, so I work with it. Then you need something to just rub it down a little bit, and I use a burnisher, but you could use whatever. That's not really part of the list. You need cheap copy paper, and I use Amazon Basics copy paper, and water. That's it. Oops. Those are the 4 things you need to create your own personalized transfer. Now, where do you get the transfer? From Word. But when you do it in Word, you have to, like, you write, say you're doing gone fishing, okay? So you type out gone fishing. Well, when you put it on the board or on paper, it's going to flip and be backwards, right? So you want to make sure when you print it out that it's flipped backwards, so when you put it on something, it'll be the correct way. And so let me show you how to do that in Word first, and then we'll go with this whole process. Because if you don't know how to flip it around, you're going to have a lot of trouble doing any of it. So here is Word. I want to bring you in so you can see. All right. So to start, you were going to go over here and you're going to say insert, and then you want to come down here and insert word art. And just pick the first one. It doesn't really matter. And this will pop up that says your text here. You can size this to whatever you want. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm going to type in all caps, gone fishing. And I'm going to just make it a little bigger so it's easy to see. Oops. Sorry, grabbed the wrong thing. I made that bigger. Then I'm going to go to home. And I'm going to increase the size of my text. See, I didn't make it big enough. Okay, there we go. So it says gone fishing, which is perfect. But I want it all on one line. It doesn't really matter. But say you want to put it like that. So we'll do it like that. Now, how do you turn it around so it's backwards so when you print it, it'll be right? What you do is you right click on inside your box there. You go all the way down here till you get to format shape. You click that. Then you click text options. Click the middle A. It says 3D rotation. CX rotation. You go there and you type in 180 degrees. You hit enter. And it flips around, and there you go. Now all you do is print that, and you cut it out however you want, and put it on whatever image you want. It's that simple. But that was the hardest part, and took me forever, because I had never done it before. Now, once you print it out, it's going to be backwards, and this is backwards. Okay, whoops. There. And this is backward. The first step to doing your own transfer is to paint a spot with your Waverly chalk paint. And again, it doesn't have to be white. I just used white. It's whatever you want to do. I used white so my board would look aged because I'd go back and sand it. But anyway, so you paint a spot. Has to be dry completely. It's another reason this video took so long. It has to be dry completely. After it's dry completely, you come back to your image and you cut it out. And when I cut it out, I like to cut as close as possible to the words. And depending on where I'm going to put it, depends on if I leave it one whole strip or if I cut the individual words. So when I cut them, like I said, I like to cut them as close as possible. That way I have less paper to get off of or around the words when I go to use the water. Okay? So you just... But you can leave as much on there as you want. And of course you can add images in and you would flip them. Images you don't have to flip unless it's a certain image. And then you would do it the same way. But there you go. So there's my words. Now what I want to do, because my space doesn't quite, they won't fit on my space, I'm going to cut them apart. And now I'm just going to use my Mod Podge. And when you use the Mod Podge, you don't want a thick layer. If you put a thick layer, it's not going to work. You want it to be evenly coated, but you want it to be thin. I use my finger for this just because I know I'm not going to put a lot with my finger. You can use a paintbrush, whatever you're comfortable doing. But you take your word and you just put a light coat across it. And this is printing on, I should have said this before, a laser printer. Not an inkjet, but a laser printer. Then you put it where you want it. And you go to the next word. We'll come back and rub them down. Again, we're just putting a light coat. We're covering everything, but we're not putting it heavy. If you put it heavy, it's going to be too much and it's not going to work. That's why I like using my fingers. I can adjust how much is on there. Okay. Last one is day. Again, this is printed on a laser printer, not an inkjet. Inkjets, you have to be careful because the ink is more susceptible to smudging, running. Okay. Then once you get it glued down, you come in with your burnisher if you have one. If not, you could use the end of scissors or whatever. And I just like to make sure the words are, down. Good. And then you let this completely dry. And by pushing it down with this, I'm also getting out any extra glue that didn't need to be there. Okay, you push it down and you let it dry completely. 100% dry, just like the paint. Once it's all dry, then you come in with your water and a rag or paper towel, whatever you want, and you just rub till all the paper's gone, but the words are left. Let me show you. This is the one I just did. This is the dry one. It's been drying overnight. So I kind of roll my paper towel up into like a little ball, dip it in my water, and then just start rubbing on top of the, and you just rub, 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 rub. And the paper will start to peel away, but the words stay. Now, this is another reason you don't want to use inkjet, because you're applying water, and again, it will smudge. The laser doesn't seem to have that problem. Now, you can rub, 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 and then you might rub some of the letters off. That's fine if you want to have that age look. If you don't, just be careful how much you rub. And you rub all around if you want to get any of that extra paper off that's on there. Like I said, that's why I cut it so close to the letters. That way you just don't have a lot of that extra left. Okay. And there's happy. You take your time and you just keep doing it until you get your words and your images all uncovered. And you have custom transfers. It really is so cool, and the projects are limitless. What you can create, you know, what you can create is limitless with this. You can create gifts for family and friends. You could sell these. You could do all sorts of things with the custom images with the custom transfers you create. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with that little bell. We have a lot of great videos on the way, and you don't want to miss out. I do apologize for this video being up late. I have had a migraine all week long, and today's the first day that I don't have any residual pain at all. So thank you for being patient. We will have a new video up on Sunday. Again, thank you for being here. You are amazing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.